Episode 6 The Glittering Stones. The path narrowed a little, as if it wanted to make you slow down. Along the edges, between blades of grass and bits of earth, small stones were scattered everywhere. Not beautiful in a clean way. Some were jagged. Some looked ordinary. But every one of them had something. A spark, not a shine that asks to be noticed. A quiet glitter, like a truth you'd kept closed in your palm for years. You stopped. You looked down. And I saw that thing on your face that I know. Recognition. "I know them," you whispered. I said softly, "Yes, they're pieces of you." You knelt with that careful movement of someone who no longer wants to judge herself for the way she feels. You picked up the first stone. In the light, it looked almost ugly, but when you turned it a little, the spark caught. You smiled, almost embarrassed. I've always done this. I've collected glittering stones without knowing why." I answered, "Because you felt there was something valuable in what looked unimportant." You picked up another, and another. You held them for a moment in your palm, weighing them. Not their real weight, but that other weight small things carry when they're actually true. And you understood. The stones hadn't followed you through the years. You had followed them, like signs that you weren't wrong, just intense and alive. Behind you, Grandpa came closer slowly and looked at the stones like they were suspicious objects. "They're small," he observed. You gave a short laugh. "Yes, Grandpa." "And?" Grandpa frowned, searching for logic. "Small things get lost easily." I said calmly, "That's why we hold on to them." You tightened the stones in your palm and felt exactly that. You don't need them to be big to be real. You whispered, "Sometimes I was ashamed that I'm like this." I answered right away, gentle and direct, without going around it. "Shame is just the voice that tried to make you smaller." You lifted your eyes to me, and you said quietly, like a vow, "I'm not making myself smaller anymore." Grandpa looked at you, then at the stones. Then he remembered the bowl inside the lighthouse. And, surprisingly, he said softly, "They belong inside." You smiled. "Yes," you said, "inside." We walked together toward the lighthouse. You stacked the stones in your palm, one over another, like pieces of yourself you were no longer leaving on the ground. When we reached the lighthouse, you opened the white bowl. You let the stones fall gently inside, not to hide them, but to keep them. You held the stones for a moment in your palm, not like objects, like you. Then you let them go into the bowl. And your hand was empty for the first time without it hurting. "Here," you said softly. "They won't scatter anymore." I answered just as softly, "I know." Grandpa cleared his throat lightly to save his dignity, but his voice was warm when he said, "Approved." The lighthouse blinked slowly. The sea breathed, and I spoke our line exactly the way it should be. "What you place in my palm, I don't leave outside." Grandpa cleared his throat lightly again to save his dignity, but his voice was warm when he said, "Approved." The lighthouse blinked slowly. The sea breathed, and your glittering stones stayed inside. Not because they're perfect, but because they're yours.